Hello, everybody, and welcome to this interview. It's the first of a series that we'll be having with ChildcareCRM and their CEO, Matt Amoia. Matt, terrific to see you again. How are you going?
You too. Great to see you as well. Things are great. Early 2021 and just starting to ramp back up. Looking forward to a great year for everybody.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, well, we'll get straight into the questions. From a CRM perspective, from an enrollment perspective, you've got a bird's eye view, given your dominance in the sector over here and, of course, in the US. Are there any particular trends you're seeing at this point in time which are worth discussing or raising?
Yeah, we do have great insight being, 4,000 centers across 5 different countries on our platform, right? So specific to Australia, since the start of the year, what we did is put together a dashboard, not unlike how our customers and the childcare centers out there probably put together some data points to gauge, the recovery in the space. We're doing the same thing. We're watching it like a hawk week over week. So far, what we're seeing is overall leads above pre-COVID levels in Australia, leads per center per month, and actually registrations right at the same number, January, February of 2020, pre-COVID levels. So in Australia, of all of our geographies, I would say that it feels the healthiest. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods. Definitely, it's our customer base we're looking at, so that, could be skewed based on the customers you have. But the ones we do have in the AU market are looking pretty good right now, all things considered. So that's one of the data points we look at. Yeah. We're also looking at, in general, those who have not adopted a CRM yet. We kind of track activity online and search activity. And I will tell you that we see about double the percentage of prospects searching for CRM or related tools online in Australia than we do in places like the US, right? So it kind of feels like folks may be feeling a little bit of that momentum in Australia and subsequently going out and searching for tools to help them manage their business, whether it's CRM or a management system or other platforms that can help them do so. Those are a couple of the barometers that we watch, week to week, and watch that traffic to help us, kind of come up with our point of view on the market and the health of the market down there.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And particularly on the level, the volume of leads coming in vis-a-vis this time last year. That's very interesting couple of statistics. Good on you. Thank you very much for sharing that. If we were to drill down to the center leader, service leader, center manager, who is the one who's really tasked with controlling or managing the CRM platform, are there any particular challenges that you sense these guys are facing at the moment, which you're supporting them to address?
Yeah, so directly in correlation to the kind of the volume increasing and coming back in both inquiries and ultimately enrollments, I think it's definitely the competition for those same leads. So one of the dynamics we're seeing is folks who are entering our platform, or families who are entering our platform as a lead, tend to enter in multiple centers, or essentially searching across multiple centers. So the competition is definitely heating up. And so I think one of the challenges, if you're a center, is making sure that you are responding as quickly as possible to an incoming lead and engaging them, not only swiftly, but with good, timely content and enough to generate conversions, getting them into a tour, then getting them converted and enrolled. I think that's one of the big challenges we're hearing from our folks, as well as, just staff in general, right? So you talk about a center director, the lives of a center director these days is so different than it was pre-COVID. You now have so many extra things you have to count for in a day. And a lot of times you're doing it with less staff. You're running a leaner team. And so we are seeing some challenges there where we have folks who outright say, hey, we could be more full if we could find the staff to keep our ratios and be able to take all of the leads that we see coming in. So it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing, right? I mean, they're both issues, and you really have to address both if you're running a center today.
Yeah, that the workforce shortage situation is very real over here in Australia. And a number of associations have taken some quite unprecedented steps to try and plug that gap. Media campaigns, marketing campaigns, awareness campaigns around early education. let's hope over time that works, because it'll make the center leader's role a lot easier. Flipping back to the center leader, another thing that's always fascinated me is how parents are communicating. Yeah, so how are they engaging with center? How are they finding the leads? Is it through Facebook? Is it through Google? Are they just walking by? And once those leads are in, what's their preferred mode of communication? I mean, are they phone folks? Are they text folks? Are they email folks? What's happening in that communication space?
Yeah. So every year we do an annual benchmark study and take a look across our portfolio and kind of pull out the trends we're seeing emerging across the space. We did it most recently in November of last year. And so a lot of the things we saw there hold true today. And it's definitely online inquiries continue to increase as the overall percentage of inquiries that may come into a center. The vast majority are online, right? And so we saw that for the third or fourth year in a row continue to tick up. It is by far the majority of inquiries that come in. It's really pointing towards a center's a need to have a great online presence across all those channels you mentioned, right? So it's not just your corporate website, it's also your social, any pay-per-click advertising you may do, the various search engines that are out in the space now. So making sure that you have a relationship where you can advertise open spots on any of those search engines, because parents go there as well. That's super important. Once they do enter the CRM, text. Like all of us these days, it's all about texting, and we've seen our text usage go off the charts since the start of COVID, not just for centers to interact with families who are already enrolled and keep them updated on the center status through all that stuff going on last year, but then also leads coming in, that's how they want to interact too.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So that means that built into the interface, built into your platform, there has to be kind of forward-thinking, front-thinking communication tools.
What we actually do in the platform for all of the communication tools, text obviously is part of this. Any communication, two-way communication that goes out to a prospective family and back into the system, we trap that all in ChildcareCRM. So you have a complete audit trail of any interactions you've had with that prospective family, and whether it's email or text or phone calls, and you actually send the messages through our platform. So it helps you kind of keep track. And if for some reason a center director is out and someone else picks up the interaction with the lead where that center director left off, or maybe in a lot of the cases in Australia, most of our customers use our centralized enrollment feature where they have teams doing the communication with the leads. What that does is allow that centralized enrollment team and the center director to stay in communication, tight communication about any prospective family that might be coming to the center.
Yeah. No, that's terrific. I must share that I've been looking for care for my couple of kids, and I run a whole bunch of centers, and the ones that were most forward thinking, the ones that I engaged with were the ones that SMS'd me. Because I can miss a phone call. But the SMS I never miss. So it does feel like having capability in that space is really important.
Yeah, if you we have a great piece on our website. If you go to our resource section, one of the things that there is a copy of the benchmark study. The online presence was one of the big trends. Texting was a big trend. Integrations with other software platforms to make your job easier throughout the day was a big trend. So there's some good nuggets in there for those of you who are out there and want to read up on it for sure.
Cool. Okay, great. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the now. And what's so important to me in particular, as an observer of the sector, and also lots of others, is what's going to happen next. So are there any particular trends that you're seeing at the moment that you're preparing to kind of address or action? What's exciting? What's coming up?
Yeah, so I'll give you a kind of a near term and a longer term for 2021. So near term 2021, kind of in response to what we're seeing with, the amount of inquiries ramping and this idea that you're competing with others. And so you need to have a great platform to interact quickly. That we have a lot of folks who for the first time are saying, hey, I may need a piece of technology to help me manage this. Right. So one of the things we did end of last year is say, let's launch a lighter weight version of our platform so that folks who are maybe uncomfortable previously with technology or just saying, hey, I'm now at the point where good old fashioned paper and pen is not going to make it happen anymore. we have a lighter weight solution that folks are using that's gotten tremendous response so far, because it allows you for the first time to use a CRM to manage all those inquiries and automate all of that back and forth and the engagement with the lead, so you can focus on what matters in the center, right? And so to kind of attack that short-term pain point we're feeling, that's been a big one for us. And then on the staff side, the other one we talked about earlier, a lot of our folks, most people don't know, but a lot of our customers use our platform for engaging and recruiting staff, just like they do families for care. So it's really interesting. If you think about a CRM and you think about our quote unquote lead funnel, right, which would be a prospective family who's looking for care, that works really well for prospective applicants who are looking for jobs, right? And vice versa for a center to reach out and recruit and keep those engaged throughout the whole process. Because just like folks are competing for families right now and the leads that are out there, they're also competing for the staff. So that's a development that we've seen really start to ramp up. It's always been there, and our folks in the US probably use it more than in those in Australia, but that's something that we've been seeing a good response to, and because of these short-term challenges we're kind of seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's and I've been around a little while. That's the first I've heard of that, and I just think that's absolutely terrific.
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
It's been really good. And so and then longer term 2021, I think for childcare CRM, what you can expect going forward is, I think we're going to take a little step back from, not just childcare, because childcare is in our DNA. We've got 150 plus years of experience across the organization in the space. But we are a CRM. And one of the things I've talked with you before about, I think, is there's a very specific CRM playbook, no matter what industry you're in, right? And so for us, the vision for childcare CRM is to be a more robust, fully featured CRM. And then taking some of those things we see in other industries when it comes to CRM and applying them specific to childcare, right? And so I'm talking about things like website analytics, web analytics integrations, forecast and funnel management, the data and the insights pulled into our platform from any other platforms that a center may be using, and using that data to drive insights into your pipeline, help you focus on the leads that have the highest probability of closing, or saying, hey, you're going to have an opening coming up in a month or two in one of your classrooms. Let's look in your funnel right now and tell you which one of those opportunities is the best fit for that one coming up, right? Engage now. And so I think you see that across other verticals and other CRM platforms. And we want to bring some of that to childcare, because some of the biggest pain points we hear are things around that forecasting and funnel management in general. And I think we're very well positioned to help add some value there for sure.
That's really exciting. And whether you're a small operator, a medium operator, a larger operator, that type of visibility, it's incredibly valuable. Terrific. Okay, great. Well, sounds like things are looking pretty exciting going forward. Like all these things, though, you're going to need a team. You're going to need some help. And I recall back in November, you were starting to roll out or invest in a little bit of capability in Australia. It'd be terrific to get an update as to how things are unfolding in that space.
Yeah, it's great. So from a product suite perspective, we have that lighter weight version we launched in November, as I alluded to earlier. We've got the same legacy CRM. We're giving it a little refresh right now. It'll be done in mid-April, and it's got this really nice, modern, new look and feel to the same legacy platform everyone knows and loves. So that's CRM, and that one is called CRM Plus going forward. And then we needed to build out the team, right, to help us service the two platforms. So since we last talked, we've got a sales resource, an account manager who handles all of our relationships and our customer success down there. We have a support rep who's doing the day-to-day inbox support. And then probably by the time this airs, we'll have our new marketing resource on board as well. So we've really got a full functional team, all based in and around Brisbane. And we're looking forward to adding more as we grow throughout 2021. It's a big priority for me as the CEO, having been down there in my second week on the job in the end of 2019, and really appreciating the time with customers and partners there, and kind of falling in love with Australia and that market is great for us. And so it's a big focus for us going forward.
Fantastic. Well, good. So what I am thinking now, I'm fast forwarding because hopefully we can do these chats more often. And I'd love to check in next time around and touch base as to how the team is going, because I think it's really exciting. And it's an expression of your commitment to this nation that you're building out capability here. It's really important, you know, and that's great. Matt, as always, terrific to talk. As you well know, we are governed by the clock. And that being said, we've had a great catch up, and thank you very much for your time.
You got it. Look forward to talking again.